Hi, good evening to Madam Sharon. My name is Umi Umaima binti Harun. Today, our group will present about case analysis of local versus foreign company for Maybank BERHAD versus JP Morgan. Before I start, let me briefly explain about the Maybank BERHAD background, which is established in 1960, founded by Khoo Teck Puat. Maybank Berhad is the largest financial services industries in Malaysia, with a well-known presence in Asian countries. Maybank Berhad service include both Sharia compliant product in commercial banking, investment banking, and insurance, and a full suite of conventional. Maybank operate in over 2,400 branches across 20 countries, including 10 Asian countries. Maybank Berhad has operated a numerous finance sector, asset management and investment banking, and specialized subsidiaries insurance. As a JP Morgan background company, JP Morgan Chase and Co. was founded in year 1799 in New York City. It is the largest, oldest, and well-established financial firm. JP Morgan Chase have been operating in more than 50 countries. It provides its service to millions of consumers, and many of them are world's leading corporate governance clients and institutions. JP Morgan has six other types of business, which are asset management, treasury and security service, investment banking, card services, commercial banking, and retail financial services. As a risk management for Maybank Berhad, Maybank Berhad has established their risk management in the company with responsibility in establishing a sound risk management framework. In the same time, they can control its competence and effectiveness. The risk management of Maybank Berhad designed to achieve a group risk within the acceptable risk appetite rather than to remove risk failure to accomplish their goal and objective. Risk management for Maybank Berhad in charge for identifying and evaluating the risk faced, formulating relevant policies, and it includes procedure to manage these risks, designing, implementing, and monitoring the effective implementation of risk management framework and internal control system. The risk management for JP Morgan is based on quantitative and qualitative. It is to create cultural risk awareness and personal responsibility through the JP Morgan. Collaboration, discussion, escalation, and sharing of information encouraged based on the principle that each line of business is responsible for dealing with risk inherent in JP Morgan's business, although with the suitable corporate oversight. Risk management in JP Morgan has 9 major risks, which is liquidity, credit, market, interest rate, country, private equity, operational, legal, fiduciary, and the last one is reputation.
Hi, my name is Tang Xiaoting with matrix number 58101. And I'm from group number 5. Now, I will present about the differences between Malayan Banking Berhad, which is Maybank, and JP Morgan Chase, JPMC, in terms of the corporate governance structure. The first difference between Maybank and JPMC can be seen in terms of segregation of duties between CEO and chairman. In Maybank, there is segregation of duties between CEO and chairman. This can be seen as the CEO of Maybank is being held by Dato' Abdul Farid Alias since year 2013, while the position of chairman of the board of Maybank is being held by Dato' Mohayani Samsudin since year 2017. This practice of Maybank shows that it is in compliance with Practice 1.3 of Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance 2017, which is in short MCCG 2017. In the case of JP Morgan Chase, James Simon holds both the position of CEO and chairman since year 2006. So, James Simon might experience a conflict of interest to supervise himself. This practice of JPMC shows that it is not in compliance with principles in G20 or OECD principles of corporate governance. The next difference between Maybank and CO and JPMC can be seen in terms of the percentage of women directors in the board. In Maybank, the percentage of women directors increased from 27% to 36% from year 2015 to year 2019. This practice of Maybank shows that it is in compliance with Practice 4.5 of MCCG 2017, which states that large companies must have at least 30% of women directors in the board. On the other hand, JP Morgan Chase has only 2 women directors in its board from year 2015 until year 2019. The next difference between Maybank and JPMC can be seen in terms of the disclosure of top 5 senior management's remuneration component on a named basis. The board of Maybank did not disclose the remuneration component of its top 5 senior management from year 2015 until year 2019. This is because Maybank believed that such disclosure would bring disadvantages to the group's businesses interests, as it is common for the occurrence of poaching of executives in the banking industry. This practice of Maybank shows that it is in departure from Practice 7.2 of MCCG 2017. In the case of JPMC, JPMC disclosed named executive officers' compensation table from year 2015 until 2019. These tables shows the salary and incentive compensation, such as cash compensation, restricted stock units, and performance stock units. Now I will present about the SWOT analysis of Maybank. The strength of Maybank include Maybank is the largest provider of banking services in Malaysia. It has its presence in 18 countries, such as 10 Asian countries, UK, US, Hong Kong, and so on. It also obtains AAA rating, and it is the most valuable bank brand in Malaysia. The weakness of Maybank include it has limited global penetration. Major contributors of its performance are derived from Malaysia and Singapore markets. The opportunity that can be exploited by Maybank include there are increasing number of people who use online banking services. These provide opportunity for Maybank to expand its customer base by trying to penetrate the digital-savvy customer segments. Moreover, Islamic finance is getting more popular nowadays. These provide opportunity for Maybank Islamic BERHAD to grow as global Islamic financial institution. The threats that are faced by Maybank include cyber threats. Cyber threats are very prevalent in recent years. Customers might worry about the safety issue of online banking as a result. Also, Maybank is particularly vulnerable to economic policies changes in Southeast Asian countries, as most of the earnings of Maybank come from its operations in Malaysia and Singapore. Now, I will proceed with the SWOT analysis of JP Morgan Chase. The strength of JPMC includes it is one of the oldest and largest banking institutions in the United States. It also has strong global presence and brand image. It has branches in more than 60 countries too. In addition, it serves millions of clients over 100 markets in the world. The weakness of JPMC include it is excessively dependent on its operations in North America. Over 75% of its group performance is mainly contributed by revenues earned in North American markets. Furthermore, the employee turnover rate of JPMC is quite high. Its staff turnover rate rose from 9% in year 2017 to 12% in year 2019. So, JPMC spent more and more money on training new staff. The opportunities that can be exploited by JPMC include there is rapid growth in asset management industry globally. JP Morgan Asset Management can take advantage of this opportunity as it is a leading asset manager for individuals, advisors, and institutions. There are significant opportunities exist for e-commerce market growth in US too. This is because more and more people prefer to shop online. So, JPMC can try to utilize this opportunity by trying to capture these customer segments. The threats that are faced by JPMC include global economic downturn. In addition, as JPMC has its operations in more than 100 markets, the changing regulations in these markets poses threats to JPMC as it has to incur more and more compliance costs to comply with the changing regulations in these markets. That's all from me. Thank you.
So now I will be presenting for revenue management and ratio analysis part. Revenue management is selling the right products or services to the right client at the right price and time through the right distribution channel with the best cost efficiency. A company has to manage their distribution channel in order to successfully deliver their products or services and achieve organization's goals. MAYBANK offers financial services including Islamic banking, insurance, takaful, asset management, and also investment within Malaysia and international operations in Indonesia, Singapore, Hong Kong, London, and Dubai. MAYBANK has multiple distribution channels of over 10,000 agents, 46 branches, and over 400 cooperatives, brokers, and also online platforms. JP Morgan Chase offers financial services including commercial banking, asset and wealth management, corporate and investment banking, and consumer and community banking. JP Morgan Chase & Co. has branches all across United States, Europe, Middle East, Africa, Latin America, and Asia. Ratio analysis is a quantitative method of gaining insight into a company's liquidity, operational efficiencies, and profitability. The first ratio is loan-to-asset ratio. The higher loan-to-asset ratio, the riskier the bank. MAYBANK shows decreasing in this ratio, while JP Morgan Chase shows increasing. But MAYBANK has higher percentage than JP Morgan Chase. Next is non-performing loans. Non-performing loans to all loans ratio indicates bank failure in collecting their debts. MAYBANK and JP Morgan Chase shows decreasing, which is under 1%. It is riskier if the bank exceeds 10%. Next is return to shareholder ratio. Return to shareholder ratio shows benefits that will be received by a shareholder when a company is succeeded in generating income. The higher return to shareholder ratio shows the better performance of a company. MAYBANK shows decreasing in this ratio, while JP Morgan Chase shows increasing. JP Morgan Chase shows a good return to shareholder ratio. Price to earnings ratio. The higher price to earning ratio shows higher expectation from the investors. MAYBANK shows decreasing in this ratio from 2018 to 2019, while JP Morgan Chase shows increasing in this ratio from 2018 to 2019. Return on asset ratio. Return on asset ratio measure rate of return resources owned by an organization. The higher return on asset shows a better performance of a company. MAYBANK and JP Morgan Chase shows increasing in this ratio, but JP Morgan Chase shows higher percentage in this return on asset ratio compared to MAYBANK. Return on common equity is to show return that will be received by the common equity investors. The higher return on common equity shows bank generates more profits from its equity investment. MAYBANK shows decreasing in this ratio, while JP Morgan Chase shows increasing. Net interest margin is to measure profitability between interest income and interest expense. The higher net interest margin ratio will increase profitability of lender. MAYBANK and JP Morgan Chase shows increasing in this ratio, but MAYBANK shows higher percentage compared to JP Morgan Chase. Efficiency ratio is increasing in expenses and declining in revenues. The lower the efficiency ratio shows the good performance of a bank. MAYBANK shows below 50%, which is good, while JP Morgan Chase efficiency ratio is above 50%. Liquidity coverage ratio is to measure ability to meet short-term obligations. The higher the liquidity coverage ratio, the better. MAYBANK and JP Morgan Chase shows increasing in this ratio, but MAYBANK shows higher percentage compared to JP Morgan Chase. Leverage ratio is to measure bank's ability to cover its exposure with one-tier capital, which ensures the solvency of the bank. A higher leverage ratio would increase the risk of the solvency. MAYBANK and JP Morgan Chase shows decreasing in this ratio, but MAYBANK has lower percentage compared to JP Morgan Chase, which is good. Moreover, common equity tier 1 ratio shows ability of the bank to cover its exposure. The higher the ratio is the better for a bank. MAYBANK and JP Morgan Chase shows increasing in this ratio, but MAYBANK has higher percentage compared to JP Morgan Chase. So, MAYBANK has lower risk compared to JP Morgan Chase. Provision of credit losses is an amount that a bank set aside to cover uncollectible loans. JP Morgan Chase shows higher provision of credit losses ratio compared to MAYBANK, which indicates JP Morgan Chase shows higher risky loans compared to MAYBANK. In conclusion, MAYBANK shows a good ratio for non-performing loans to all loans ratio, efficiency ratio, leverage ratio, liquidity coverage ratio, net interest margin ratio, and provision of credit losses ratio. JP Morgan Chase shows a good ratio for loan to asset ratio, return on asset ratio, return on common equity ratio, common equity tier 1 ratio, price to earnings ratio, and return to shareholder ratio. So that is all from me for revenue management and ratio analysis part. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nadira binti Zakaria. My metric number is 59750 and I am from Group 5. I will explain about the capital and ownership structure for MAYBANK, BERHAD and JP Morgan Chase & Co. What is capital structure? Capital structure is the combinations of debt and equity used by company to finance its operations and growth of business. In other words, it shows how the company manage their funds and cover overall its operations and growth. When the company's debt is more than equity, it will lead to high leverage ratio and aggressive capital structure. Therefore, the common ratio we use to measure risk in capital structure is by using debt to equity ratio, where the total liabilities divided by total shareholders' equity. The next one is debt to equity ratio for MAYBANK. As we can see in this table, it clearly shows that MAYBANK debt ratio is reduced and MAYBANK has improvement in reducing debt. The next one is debt to equity ratio for JP Morgan Chase & Co. As we can see in this table, it shows that JP Morgan debt ratio is increasing and has an aggressive capital structure and heavily financed by debt. In comparison, JP Morgan Chase & Co. has slightly better in reducing debt compared to MAYBANK, as because JP Morgan Chase & Co. has more financially stable business and low risk that can lead to increase the trust of investor. Even though MAYBANK debt ratio shows decreasing, it's still considered high as because they settle more on debts as their finance sources rather than equity shares. The next one is the ownership structure. Ownership shows how widely the shares are held by shareholders and whether the company are majorly controlled by public or private companies. This ownership structure is very important. As company grows, institutions will increase their ownerships. For Malayan Banking Berhad, we can see that the biggest shareholder is Amanah Raya Trustee Berhad with 34.68%, and the second biggest is Citigroup Nominis Tempatan Sdn Berhad with 12.48%, and the third largest is Permodalan Nasional Berhad with 7.76%. It shows that MAYBANK shares widely held with institutional shareholders. And JP Morgan Chase & Co, the biggest is the Vanguard Group Incorporated with 7.90%, and BlackRock Incorporated with 6.77%, and the third is State Street Corp with 4.68%. JP Morgan Chase & Co shares held by large institutions, pension plans, mutual funds, and directly by individual investor. The next one is the company agency issues. The company agency issue is a conflict of interest integral in the relationship between one party and another. This in banking industry, to fulfill customer satisfaction towards the services given is very important, as it can boost the company performance and at the same time gain the profitability and increase the confidence levels of investor. As we can see in Malayan Banking Berhad, the company agency issues happen when the customer experience unable to transfer money through ATM machines and MAYBANK to user rates. In other words, other banks also face experience unable to transfer funds to MAYBANK, and MAYBANK user also face problem in getting their TAC number when online purchase from website. As the top 4 most visited website in Malaysia, MAYBANK should be able to encounter this problem in order to maintain their customer loyalty. For JP Morgan Chase & Co, the company agency issue happened when the customer having trouble to access the bank's website and mobile apps. In addition, the ATM machine also having problem where the amount of money deducted but no money comes out. Other than that, they also suddenly close accounts and froze clients' money without notice. And these issues can reduce the level of trust and customer loyalty. In comparison, MAYBANK Berhad offer better in banking system compared to JP Morgan, as MAYBANK users does not experience much problems towards ATM machines and sudden close accounts, just like what JP Morgan Chase users face. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Gayatri Dodabalan, and today I'm going to present about the strategic policy and implementation. Strategic policy is a set of well-organized and analyzed plans or rules set by the organization in the prospect of future plans for their business. Strategic policy can also be known as a mini mission statement, which are forward-looking for the benefits of the organization. So I'll move on to the Malayan Bank Berhad in the form of strategic objective. MAYBANK's next strategic plan focused towards MAYBANK 2020 vision of advancing Asia's ambitions video and MAYBANK 2020 mission of humanizing financial services. There are 5 main strategic objectives under this MAYBANK. So I'll go for the first one, which is the top Asian community bank. MAYBANK aims to be a major retail and commercial financial services contributor in Asia, utilizing on their regional presence, banking skills, and development opportunities in Asia. The second one is the leading Asian wholesale bank in Asia. MAYBANK aspires to be a leading Asian financial compliance that joins Asia by utilizing their Asian operating capabilities. The third objective is the leading Asian the leading Asian insurer. MAYBANK intends to be a leading Asian insurer by utilizing collaborations between MAYBANK's regional banking footprints and Ethica's mastery in Takafu and bancassurance. The fourth strategic objective is the global leader in Islamic finance. MAYBANK intends to be a leading Asian insurer by utilizing MAYBANK plans to keep conveying inventive customer-driven universal financial arrangements, expanding on their worldwide leadership in economic finance. And the last strategy is digital bank of choice. MAYBANK seeks to be the digital bank of choice by putting their clients' information first and changing to convey next generation client experience. So I'll move on to the JP Morgan Chase and Co. By offering higher quality services and higher returns on the investment for their customer, JP Morgan Chase strive to achieve their mission statement of being one of the best financial service provider in the world. They have a few sub-businesses under JP Morgan Chase and Co. The first one is consumer and community banking. The future strategic perspective for this service is to expand 400 new branches, 15 to 20 new market, and achieve the 1 trillion deposit market in the upcoming 5 years. The next sub-business is corporate and investment bank. The main objective under the market service is to remain returning above cost of capital and to save their driving position and develop their share. To maintain the position in ECM and DCM and treasury services which focus in development through investment in an inventive product and platform offering. The third business is commercial banking. Under this commercial banking, JP Morgan Chase and Co. intends to increase the commitment to development by investing to increase customers and enhance the relationship between the customers and the company, and at the same time contributing to convey more an incentive to the customers. And the last one is the asset and wealth management. The main objective under AWM is to keep on having strong financial performance for the years to come, enhance the sustainability for a long-term performance, complementing customer portfolio through liquidity, products, and banking, as well as to increase the productivity through the hiring of customer advisors. Next, I'll move on to PESEL analysis. These strategic objectives of both Malayan Bank, BERHAD, and JP Morgan Chase and Co. can be viewed using a business tool known as the PESEL analysis. So under PESEL analysis, there are a total of 6 different factors. So I'll move on to the first factor, which is the political factor. The political factor for both Malayan Bank, BERHAD, and JP Morgan Chase and Co. are the same, where some of the factors that can be taken into consideration by MAYBANK and JP Morgan Chase and Co. before joining or contributing in a markets are the country's political stability, the depth of corruption, the country's laws or rules, and regulations pertaining to business. Next is the economic factor. And this economic factor we can see for MAYBANK under the current economy that is being affected due to the world pandemic known as Corona or COVID-19. And these are the steps taken by the Malayan Bank BERHAD in overcoming this economic crisis that is currently happening in Malaysia and the entire world. So the first one is in providing the debt ban and financial upgrade packages until a definite solutions are found. And MAYBANK also deferred all loan or financing repayments of customers starting from April 1st, 2020. For JP Morgan Chase and Co. on the other hand, some factors that impact the organization are the development in the upcoming economies and the rising debt level in the United States as well as worldwide. So we're moving on to the third factor, which is the social factor. Social factor is both the same for Malayan Bank BERHAD and JP Morgan Chase, where one way the social factor affect the banking industry is the development in the wide usage of social media. This is needed for both the Malayan Bank and JP Morgan Chase to increase or enhance their social networking. So next, I'll move on to the technology factor. Under Malayan Bank BERHAD, they have implemented multiple plans and action in digitalizing their services, such as standardized the MAYBANK mobile app in 5 different countries and at the same time launched MAE in Malaysia. MAYBANK also leveraged new technologies such as artificial intelligence (AI) and robotic process automation (RPA) in order to simplify their insurance claim processes. For JP Morgan Chase and Co., the increasing level of usage of blockchain technology and the development of artificial intelligence in the banking, financial services, and insurance are the main factors that gives an impact to JP Morgan Chase and Co. So next I'll move on to the legal factor. The banking industry is subjected to privacy laws, consumer law, as well as trade law. And on top of that, JP Morgan Chase also has issues related to money laundering and laws under the data privacy. And the last factor under the PESTEL analysis is the environment. Under this factor, Maybank has executed major green deals in their region in the past to help with preserving their environment. And JP Morgan Chase and Co, on the other hand, have taken this step towards preserving the environment by engaging in activities to resolve problems related to low carbon economy. So that's all from me today. Thank you.
As a conclusion, we can conclude that our Maybank BERHAD has a right decision to determine the expansion of the business, especially in the banking sector, as Maybank BERHAD has secured their place in the market in the Southeast Asia and the South Asia, well-positioned capture growth opportunity on their own strategic. Maybank BERHAD hold the opportunity to rise their global Islamic financial market as Maybank Islamic BERHAD. Maybank has the chance been recognized globally to do business expansion in Asia by chances that been provided between Asian countries and the total of export and import among these countries. Maybank BERHAD can develop in better advanced technology to provide better services that give result to receive higher number of customer and investor. That's all from us. Thank you.